But if the medical doctor decides to take the CIBN exams and he comes out successful, he's a banker, right?
Of course, chartered banker, yeah.
So going back to all of this, now we clarified on that. Now, looking at this issue of bank examination, which you have done over time, and tell us how it operates. What are the things you look out for that you feel that the CBN really can't do because of maybe its manpower or the strength or of the banking industry in Nigeria? What do you look out for, and how many bank examiners on an ideal situation that do you send to a particular bank?
Say bank examiners to a bank, maybe like 10 to 15. 10 to 15. And
is it the bank or the branch?
The bank. You start from the headquarters, then you move to the branches, because you have to check the books and the affairs of the bank. And it's a very serious thing, painstaking, and you cannot afford to make a mistake.
Do you get a peep of what happens in the branches from the headquarters?
You have to visit the branches, field examination, because you have to check on security. You have to check on customer complaints, so many things. It takes time, and that is why you cannot joke with CBN autonomy. You know, I had the debate that they want to remove the autonomy of the CBN. That would be suicidal.
But you say they're overwhelmed, if that's what you mean, and that you split their functions into two.
Yeah, if they do that, the powers still remain. You know, the body that will take over from the CBN will be an offshoot. And the same people who used to work in CBN will be those that will be moved to that department. And it's working beautifully in the UK. You can see the FSA checking on the salary of bankers and all that. Here it's not a topical issue, but it's something we should be looking at.
Salary of bankers?
Yes. How much do these CEOs earn? You know, the earn so much, and after some years, you hear that the bank has gone under. So what is happening? So there are a lot of questions, actually. And
sorry, who does that now?
Virtually nobody does that. Nobody checks the packs of these CEOs, and that is why they take as much as they can from the coffers of the banks. In the UK, they are so strict on that.
You use the word take. Don't they have a structured salary? Do they just, well, I don't know, at random pay themselves?
Well, if I'm a CEO and I'm to approve what I'll take, obviously I'll take advantage of that situation. So the CBN should be interested in what these bankers earn to protect the shareholders, to protect the customers, and so on and so forth. That's why in the US, in the UK, they don't joke with it, because that has caused a lot of bank failures. You know, people taking bonuses that are far above even their salary and all that. Sharp practices. It brings sharp practices. Okay. And just to add to what we have been saying, if you remove CBN autonomy, then you go back to Uganda during Idi Amin. He was virtually the central bank governor. And what did he do? Print more money. And Uganda was in a mess.
No, but that's not going to be the exact same case here. In that case, give us your recommendations then, because if the House of Reps or National Assembly are not comfortable with the fact that who approves the funds of the CBN, they don't do that. And besides, the powers that the CBN has got, they say they delegated it to the CBN. What's wrong with taking their powers back? Yeah. What would you recommend be done about the way things are going on now?
Yes, in the time past, we never had such debates. Probably has to do with the style of Madam Lamido Sanusi, because we've had so many other governors. Joseph Sanusi was there, and they were all cool-headed. Nobody complained, but it's the style of Sanusi. You know, the way he goes about it, some people are not comfortable, and probably maybe sometimes the way he announces donations and
this
all
has
that.
exposed the law, or exposed
some weaknesses in the law.
Exactly. Something needs to be done.
Yeah, but I will prefer a strong board.
Strong board.
Very, very strong board. You know, very, very strong board of independent-minded people. You know, very strong board. If you have people like Henry Boyo on the CBN board, you know it's not going to be smooth sailing. You know, and people who are independent-minded, who don't have any allegiance to the government, whose salary does not come from the government, and so on and so forth.
Should the CBN chair the board?
Yeah, the governor chairs the board.
But the National Assembly, the House of Reps think otherwise. they wouldn't like to see him chair the board if they are to have a strong board, as you say.
Yeah, because as CBN governor is good, he's the chairman of the board.
Why?
Yeah. Why? Because responsibility is obligation to act, and accountability is the answer to responsibility. And if he's the central bank governor, he takes responsibility for all decisions. So he should be in charge. He should coordinate the board. And on the board also, you should have independent-minded people who can check him that, look, if you do this, this is the consequence of your decision, and so on and so forth. And that will maybe give us good policies.
What about the budget of the CBN? Nigerians don't know what's going on there. Shouldn't we be asking questions? Because that's what perhaps think that, look, you can't be approving your own funds, your own budget. That runs contrary to checks and balance system.
Yeah, but the question one will ask is this. The national budget that is being checked by the National Assembly, what do we see? You see a budget that is not implemented.
But it's the principle. It's the principle that is in question here. Not necessarily what becomes of it, but they're looking at that principle, saying now that it has shown up this way, you talk the donations here, and people are questioning so many things. What if another type of CBN governor comes up tomorrow and does maybe ×2 of what's going on here? We keep saying no, they won't accept us all over the world. Let's let that be that way. Should we continue like that?
Yeah, that's why I said a strong board will help check that. You know, if you have friends on the board, then you can call the shots. But if you have serious-minded people on the CBN board, they won't allow that. You know, at least, or he needs to get their consent before decisions are taken. You know, and we just have to accept the fact that once the autonomy is removed, it's going to be suicidal. But again, because politicians always want to take decisions that will favor them at the polls.
Let's say we leave the autonomy, a quick one here, and you bring your budget before the National Assembly. Everyone knows what you're taking and what you're spending. Would that be a spoiler for the CBN or for us as a nation?
Yeah, it's going to be a spoiler for CBN because I don't think it's that necessary. You know, once you have a strong board, a board made up of independent-minded people, it will check all that. Because once it gets to the National Assembly, there are delays and all that, and CBN cannot afford the delays.
For a group of people or for Nigerians?
But, whether it's good for...
Is it meant for Nigerians or for a group of people?
It's meant for Nigerians.
So the representative of the people, the Nigerian people, they can't ask them to bring their spendings, proposed spendings before them?
Well, in the first place, he was cleared. His appointment was cleared by the National Assembly, the Senate especially.
Just as the ministers were also cleared.
Just like the ministers were also cleared. And you see, the mode of operation of the CBN calls for objectivity, you know, because once you make it subjective, you take it to the National Assembly, they keep on debating, we're not going to approve this for you, we'll approve that. It's going to affect the efficiency and effectiveness. Are we
assuming that they are not men of integrity in the National Assembly who will know the right thing and know to do the right thing? Yeah.
Looking at the trend, over the years, that has not been the case. It's just coming up in recent times. And as far as I know, it has been working well for Nigeria.